Alright, hello. It's 5 a.m. and I figured, you know what? Why not? This is the perfect time to talk about my fire, budgeting, financial independence life journey as a 24-year-old, 2 years post grad, uh, software engineer, kind of frugal guy. So fuck it. Let's get started. So I have this spreadsheet that I made. Um, It says budget on here. I would say this is more like a prediction than a budget. I don't really confine myself to these, but it is what I predict that I will likely spend, and I'm a frugal person in general. So I'm not really trying to stay within a budget per se, but to some extent I try to spend cheaply as I live my life. And so low-key I'm trying to like lean fire, coast fire, or something like that. But for now, save as much as I can, and we'll figure it out. So this is kind of the structure of my sheet. It's pretty messy, honestly. It's doesn't have an amazing structure, but we'll just get started here. So I'm pretty transparent with my numbers. We'll start with just my income straight up. This is my base right here. About I just got a little promotion, and I get like a 5% target bonus. But realistically, like this year, for example, I got something more like 10%. And I think last year I got like a 6%. So I just did the conservative, throw 6% on there. Um, and then also we have an ESPP, which is Employee Stock Purchase Plan, which gives us a 15% discount on on stock that you buy for the company. So at minimum, I think, or so basically, I max my ESPP plan, which is 10% of my base paycheck, and then at the very least, you will get like 15% savings, or actually like 17% when you do like the discounted, rate. But if the stock goes up, you actually get more money than that. So over the past, like, I think I've done it for 3 periods, 3 6-month periods. In each 6-month period, I've probably averaged over three, maybe about 3,000. Yeah, probably about 3,000. And so that means for a year, that average would be 6,000. But honestly, these years have been pretty good for Cisco stock. So, oh yeah, I'm an engineer at Cisco. And honestly, I'm like kind of just doing this for fun. Like, if you get something out of this, great. Maybe this is just me for the future. You know, whatever. Um, as you can tell, I don't really have much of a plan going into this. Hope the audio isn't too low neither. If it's too low, well, then I guess you're going to have to just turn the audio up. Well, unlucky. So, yeah. Back to the ESPP thing. So, average about 3,000 every 6 months so far. But realistically, I'm not going to get 6,000 a year. So, I knocked down 4,500. I thought that would be a reasonable guess. And just so I could have like the clean 140K, I just knocked the number down a little bit more. So it's 140K. I should be a pretty good average like estimate for how much I make a year, about with some conservative adjustments. Um, I use this like smart asset like calculators. I live in Texas. There's no state income tax, for example. So I just chugged this number in here and I threw in all of my like pre-tax deductions. Oh, also, I should have totally let out. This is for my 2026 predictions, basically. So these are like the 2026 limits that technically haven't come out yet, but I think this is like what it's going to be. I think it's like a good estimate. And the HSA max limit, I think, also hasn't come out yet, but I think it's estimated to be 4,400. But my company matches 600, so I only get the tax deduction on 3,800, if that makes sense. And then I just arbitrarily chose $1,000 for like random insurance, also pre-tax. Sort of a guess, actually a liberal guess, so it's overshooting the cost probably by quite a bit. But I mean, it's $1,000, nice round number. And so after throwing all these pre-tax deductions into this calculator, in fact, we can even take a look at the calculator here so we can all, bam, this is for Texas, and you just throw in like the fucking pre-tax deductions, but where the fuck are they? Okay, that link is outdated, but basically I just threw in all the fucking numbers in here and you call it a day and then bam, 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 bam. Okay, so this is my post taxes and pre-tax contributions income, which makes the math a little bit complicated when you're trying to get everything to work out. But I spent some time on the spreadsheet, and I think it all works. So another thing I need to calculate is like what expenses do I have? And the expenses that I list here are all the expenses that are not included within here. So insurance, this HSA, the 401k, it's not included, and taxes is also not included because it's all of these numbers are being subtracted from this this total here. So great, I'm gonna max out my Roth, 7,500, awesome. Rent, I kind of just estimated like 1,300. This is including like the trash fee or some random bullshit like that. But it's not including utilities. It's a different bucket. So I have Wi-Fi here, like $50 for 12 months divided by 2. I think I have divided by 2 because assuming a roommate, but actually I'm going to be living alone. But also my company gives me like a $35 like every month thing to pay for the Wi-Fi. So I think this estimate actually is probably still it's fine. 300, it's probably overshooting a little bit, but it's fine. Utilities, $70. That might honestly be undershooting it. You could probably argue that to be like 100, but I mean it should be close enough. Car insurance, I pay about 200 a month. That's just straight up. Groceries, I'm also estimating like $70 a week, 52 weeks. Yeah, that's probably a pretty reasonable estimate. I buy some fresh produce and meat and stuff like that, so this could be a little bit higher. It might be like 80, 85. I'll just make that adjustment. You know what? We'll just call it even 100. Like, why not? Be a little conservative. Or I guess in this case, liberal, so that my estimate overall, I leave room for error. I do a Roth mega backdoor. It's not that I don't qualify for a Roth IRA, because obviously I have that up here. But I have the extra money to spend, I figure might as well use the Roth mega backdoor. If you don't know what that is, you're going to have to just look that up. I ain't explaining that shit. That's too complicated. There's plenty of Investopedia articles. Mostly it's common for people who are really high earners who don't qualify for Roth, who still want to have a Roth after-tax benefit account. But for me, I just have some extra money to save, so why not throw it in a Roth account? Get some more Roth savings. Amazon Prime, it's like, oh, these are all yearly expenses, if it wasn't obvious. Amazon Prime, Spotify, renter's insurance, all self-explanatory. Car payments, I have one more year left in my car, about $300 a month. Vacation, I threw an arbitrary $7,000 on here. Could be more, could be less. Actually just got back from Mexico City, but my lease had expired before I went to Mexico City, so it really felt like my Mexico City trip was like functionally extremely cheap, or maybe almost free, because I wasn't paying rent and utilities back here in Austin. I was just paying my rent, quote unquote, in Mexico City instead. And of course, you don't have to pay for airplane tickets, and I wasn't cooking or neither, but it felt like free. So some vacations, if I do another smart vacation like that, it could be functionally free and not come out of the 7,000 bucket. Book courses, games, 500, arbitrary. Furniture, I'm about to move into a new place, so I'll probably have to buy some new furniture, like a couch. This number actually could be higher for this year. But, I mean, hard to say. It could be lower, too. Maybe I'll get some just cheap-ass furniture, and I already have some stuff locked up in my storage unit. Really, the couch is going to be the big cost, and you might spend $1,000 on that. $1,500 to buy other stuff. I already got the TV and stuff, so. Clothes, $1,000 arbitrary, Could totally be overshooting it, but that's cool. Dance, I probably do not spend this much money a year on dance. But let's say for some reason I started to take more classes this year or something, it's okay. We'll make the bucket bigger. Gas, $1,000. Kind of a guess, around $80 a month. And that sounds about right to me. Fill up my tank about like 2.5 times. Each time I fill up, it's like $30-something, low 30s. I drive a 2023 Honda Civic sedan, so it's pretty good in the mileage. Haircuts, arbitrary, probably, most months I got a haircut, costs like $30. Going out, don't really know how much this will be. I guess this includes dates and stuff like that, so, I figured $100 a week. I mean, oh shit, if you just go get some drinks somewhere, fuck, you're spending so much money. So $100 is a safe bucket, I think, every week. I do go and hang out with people a lot, so 200 cosmetics, maybe just like some fucking hair paste or some bullshit like that, whatever. Gifts, 500. Do I spend 500 a year on gifts? Honestly, probably not, but it's cool. Uber and Lyft, I honestly have no idea what my expense for that is. Throw 500 on there. Extra medical, who knows? Maybe I fucking need some band-aids. I fucking, gotta go to the nurse, get an ice pack for my shit. Then, 500. Contacts and glasses. I have vision insurance, but usually there's other costs. Like, still costs like $80 to get your eyes checked, even with vision insurance. And I don't know, random shit. Charity. I usually donate a little bit to charity. Honestly, recently I've been donating more than this per year, but we'll keep it at 1,000 for now. I think it's fine. Miscellaneous, blah. And then this is the excess savings that I have, which kind of factors into some of the other calculations I have later, which is important. And again, yeah, the excess probably just goes to a taxable brokerage account. Is there an argument to be made that I should be maxing out my mega backdoor more to do that? Yeah, maybe, but I think it's good to have all three buckets a little bit. And as they grow, I can reevaluate and stuff like that. What's prompted me to do this actually is my net worth has just recently, not including my car, has just pushed over 200K. Quite unstable though, because I have some individual stocks that could just crash in 5 seconds and bam, I'm down to like 170. But my my net worth minus my car is just over 200K now, and we'll go over that in a second too. So this is what I have for like my retirement account. So this is not including my taxable brokerage. The max on my HSA, max on my 401k, max on my Roth, and with some matching, I get like a 4.5% matching, and this is the 4% that I put into my mega backdoor. So yeah, about retirement wise, put about 47K into my retirement. So 4% of my gross salary, not my pre-tax, my gross salary, goes into like my retirement account. Of course, this is again including the company match and like the HSA match. So it's not like, just to clarify exactly what this number means, it includes things that aren't necessarily coming straight out of my paycheck. And so this is the general summary of the expenses. Taxes, I just grabbed that from that random smartass website. It's about this much. My total savings is the number from here plus the excess savings from here. So I save about 46% of my gross salary, which is pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I think ideally I'm trying to hit that 50% mark, like ideally speaking. But I mean 46%. I mean that's a great number. Rent and utilities, food and restaurants. I just have these summed up from my costs here. Vacation, insurance, insurance, car payments, other crap. And it took me a while to figure out I needed to add this 1,000 here to get my numbers to all work. So here's some of my costs, and the reason why it's over 140K is because I have the 401k matching, the HSA matching. So the sum of the gross percentages is a little bit over, but after adjusting for the 401k match and the HSA match, it actually gets perfectly down to my gross salary and 100%. So it probably took me like a whole hour to figure out like how to get all these numbers to be perfect, but figured it out eventually. So here we go. This number here is cool. It's not highlighted, but it's cool. This is a prediction for my non-saving expenses. So all my expenses that are related to spending, vacation, it just doesn't include like stuff, like it doesn't include my mega backdoor Roth or my Roth or 401k, right? Just my normal expenses. It also does not include vacation, as mentioned here, which is about 33% a year, not including vacation, which, is reasonable. So other than that, it only goes back like 1 year from today, but this is what my net worth has been like growing more or less 1 year. You probably take like 10K off of this for like random bullshit inaccuracy, but approximately this is my net worth has gone to about 100K in the last year, just from like my 401k growing, my stocks growing, and also just saving a lot of money. And you know what? I'm not going to pull up my Fidelity account and share it with you like on my screen, but I will share the numbers that I have go through what my account looks like right now. Oh, this is just another sheet I have kind of to track my expenses every month, like my real expenses. And a lot of these are just guesses. Again, I don't really track these like super carefully, but they're reasonable guesses. So, for example, for the past January 2024 to now, let's take the average. What's my average spend? 41.58, and this is including vacation, which is pretty close to probably what I estimated. Let's see what I estimated here. Estimated this. I think I already have this. Is that number divided by 12? Yeah. So my monthly expected is 3,800, but this is not including the vacation. And then according to my predicted reality, supposed reality, again this average is like 41.58. So I think my prediction it's pretty reasonable. Pretty reasonable. Again, the 41.58 or whatever that includes vacation. All right. Last thing is let's look at what is actually making up my 200K net worth, right? So we got some cash. I got about like 24K like cash, just some like savings account and stuff like that. My HSA has about 13K. This is just into some rant. I think this is just in like the Vanguard target date retirement at 2060. I'm pretty sure that's what that one is. I have a taxable brokerage account, which is about 59K. I'm a little bit boggle-headed. Like I like just having like some Vanguard funds, which in this case the Vanguard funds make up about 60% of my profile. So let's say VT 60%. It's not quite that, but it's functionally that, so no reason to complicate it more. And the other part, I got 20% in Rocket Lab because I got really lucky. I got in this really early. I only spent like 1.5K in it, but it's grown like 700%, so great. And then I got some other small stocks like that make up the rest of my account. Wait, I just realized something. The fuck? Oh, no, okay. Oh, wait, no, it's doing the math right. I thought this was double counting the 5K I just put in, so actually all my numbers are just wrong. But no, it subtracts it later. Okay, all G. And then I also got like 10%, 15% in some, individual tech stocks like Google, Microsoft. No reason to get more deep into that. Actually, I totally lied. I literally just have 10% in Google. That in this account. Oops, my fault. And then I got like, what is that? That's 80-90%. The other 10% is just in some random individual stocks like Lunar, Redwire. These are also space stocks. Random space stocks. All right, so not the most bogglehead diligent, but I got 60% in VT. Like, I mean, that's not terrible, right? I think it's not too bad. And the stocks that I've chosen have all done really well, but everyone's a fucking genius in the bull market, and everyone panics. So we'll see if I have the mental resistance to to beat the market. I don't claim to be any good at anything regarding stock picking. It's probably just luck. All right. In my pre-tax 401k, which I have through Brokerage Link, I got 50K. And basically I use the Fidelity zero interest funds, which is FZ Rocks and FZILX. Those are the US market and international markets, respectively. And it's a 60-40% split. This is functionally like the same as like just buying BT. But because it's Fidelity, you can automatically like do the contributions to these mutual funds a lot easier. A lot easier. Well, you could also just buy like VT Sacks or Wax or whatever, but I just use the Fidelity ones because they're just as good and they're literally zero interest. So I figured, why not? I don't plan on switching off Fidelity anytime soon. Okay, I'm gonna have a Roth 401k. That has about 10k because I contributed straight up to my Roth 401k before, like last year. Though now all of my 401k contributions go to pre-tax except for the mega backdoor. And this is about the same. This is also FCRI and FCILX with the same 60-40 percentage split. All right. And last but not least, we have my actual Roth IRA, which has about 45k because I started maxing it out when I was like 20 years old. So even back in the good old internship days. And maybe one thing that's interesting to note. So when I graduated college, I didn't have much debt. My family helped me a bit with college. They paid for, functionally they paid for my tuition, and then I had to handle everything outside of tuition. So all of my living expenses, rent, food, etc. Any fun I wanted to have for about 4 years. And of course, I got some scholarships and some financial aid and things like that too. And I also had some really great internships at like Zoom and Amazon. So when I graduated college, I had very, very little debt, and I was able to pay it off within a few months. But even though I had some debt, I still wanted to max out my Roth, even when I was like 20, 21 with my internship money, because I figured, there is such a limited maximum contribution. I figured I'd start early. So I really started early with all this investing shit. I took a little stint with that GameStop fiasco. That was very stressful. I lost a few $1,000s on that when I really couldn't afford to lose that money, like pre-internship undergrad. But then I got lucky with Dogecoin, and then after that I stopped doing all that bullshit because it was too stressful. I think I ended up with a bit more money than I lost in the end, but low-key not worth. All right, anyway, Roth IRA. So what do I got in here? I'm looking here right now. Oh man, great preparation by me so far. I got about 70% in VTI, so American leaning a little bit, I will say. I got 15% VXUS, so, shout out international exposure, not very much. And then the rest of it is Google and Microsoft. So that makes up the last 15%. So, it's actually about, you know what, just so the math works out on the screen, we'll just say Google and 7.5% Microsoft. And so, that total, 24 plus 13, let's just, 45, that's like 105, 100 and, oh my god, my math is terrible. 165 plus 13, 180 almost, and then that puts me about 200k. So this is just about 200k. Again, Rocket Lab could just tank 50% tomorrow, and I'm much under the 200k mark, but more or less my net worth minus my car, about 200k. And that's about it. Obviously I want to grow my paycheck and stuff and career. I'm a greedy ass motherfucker sometimes, but I'm also, I'm honestly pretty frugal, like generally speaking. I really could be paying, like, getting a nicer, like, downtown apartment or something, but I don't really do that. Could have got, like, a really fancy car, but I like my Civic. It's chill as fuck. I want to spend some more time traveling, things like that. And, eventually, I just want to be able to build as much money as I can. Maybe one day I could just, like, coast fire, just let my money grow, and just do whatever my fucking barista fire or some shit like that. Yeah. I'm sure there's something I'm missing that I'd like to talk about, but that's the main gist of it. You can probably click away from the video now. Let me think. Is there anything else that's relevant? Some other random spreadsheets here that I made before, but I don't even remember what the fuck I was doing. So this is the main guy here. I would consider sharing this, but low-key this shit is so confusing. Like the weird like fucking shit you have to do to make this work. You're probably better off just making the sheet by yourself so that you understand all of the math that you're doing and where the boxes are all going. Because low-key this is just like bullshitted as fuck. Like look at this fucking bullshit. So, but yeah, cool video. I honestly can't think of anything else. Let me just think about this for like 30 seconds in silence. I have like 2K and some fucking oh man, why can I not even think CD certificate deposit. Um but nah, I mean it's whatever. Um I literally only bought it just so I could try out like what it's like to have, just so I know like the process, and that was it. All my cash here is in the Capital One high yield savings account, so it's not just like, it's still generating a little money, but emergency fund, keeping it there. And yeah, obviously I'm very fortunate. I want to say that. Like, I mean, I went through some tough schooling. Electrical computer engineering at UT is definitely not a walk in the park. It's a very strong engineering school, and market's pretty tough out there right now. A lot of people are not nearly as fortunate as I am. Of course, a lot of people do make still more money than me, but at my age. But I recognize that I am. Sometimes I forget to be grateful for the position I'm in, to be able to do all of this. And yeah, I kind of have some soft goals. Like, I mean, if I like reached 1 million by 30, that would be crazy. But I mean, I think it's rather unlikely unless the market does extraordinarily well. Market could have a few bad years, and that goal would be unattainable. But maybe 1 million by like 32. Nice power of 2. I think. I think that's a lot more doable. Get that compounding interest going. It is crazy to see my account swing thousands of dollars a day. On interesting days, especially with this 20% rocket lab in here. It's pretty crazy. I would not advise anyone to follow these stock picks. I think you're much better off just buying VT and just chilling the fuck out. Buy some target date retirement fund and chill the fuck out. I'm just a little bit of a gambler at heart, so I like buying some. But again, even this is like not a significant margin of my portfolio. I think probably about 15% of my portfolio total is random bullshit like that, right? So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. It's important to save your money and start early as possible. Let your shit compound and do your thing. So, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope I learned something if I'm watching this in the future. Yeah, and I'm gonna go to fucking sleep. It's 5:14. What the fuck is my problem? Good night, y'all.